Hey there! I was lent this pen by Joost Appelboom. It's a Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. This is the Pistone, which has an actual piston as opposed to a captive converter in it, which is how they started off. It's a very attractive material. It's the dark Hawaii. Nice material. I am very fond of this pen already. So it doesn't have the number 8 nib, but I thought I would review it anyway. I have reviewed a Momento Zero Grande, the Pistone version, in the past. However, this has the flex nib and an ebonite feed. So I thought it would be fun for us to have some playtime with this. I will cover the parts of the pen, although I've done it before, but I'll treat this as a full review. It is a different finish, but it's definitely a different nib. I'll try to focus on the nib in the writing sample. Okay? I will also tell you what I like and what I don't like, etc. Why don't we get started? Okay, here we go with the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande Pistone in the dark Hawaii material. So it comes in this fairly fancy box, which has an outer sleeve. Then you take it off. Then you have an inner sleeve, and then on top of that you have the actual box, which has the Momento Zero Pistone Grande little booklet in it, which is quite nice. And you have a made in Italy 100% Italiano card, and you have a slot for ink. I did not receive the ink in it, which is fine, because it came in winter and it gets very cold here and ink freezes. Okay, here we have the actual pen. Let me zoom in a bit so you can see it a bit better. And here we have that pen right next to a Pilot Metropolitan. So as you can see, it's a large pen. The dark Hawaii material in my mind is really quite attractive. It's a nice deep blue, and I kind of like these striations. Okay, so the Pistone model has an actual piston as opposed to a captive converter, which I think is very exciting. It costs €243.80. Remember the 10% discount through Appelboom. This one has an upgraded 14 karat flex nib, which is another €164.46 on top of the price of the pen. Okay, so it's not a cheap pen in this configuration. Then you can add a number 8 nib, and that actually adds €301.65 to the price. So adding a number 8 nib more than doubles the cost of the pen, which is very interesting. Okay, another thing I wanted to point out is that starting with that Pistone, having the actual piston, this cap lip is chiseled down. It used to be straight, it is now chiseled down, which makes it more flush with the barrel, and I think that's a very nice aesthetic change. Alright, parts of the pen. On top, this finial, same material as the cap. We have the little rhodium trim clip with the little wheel, quite stiff, but it does work. We have the 3 bands, another band, and yet another band near the end. This is the piston turning knob, which I will not operate given that it's full of ink. And here, the blind engraving that says Leonardo Officina Italiana number 285. The cap unscrews, excuse me, and then here we have the full pen. Interesting section size. The Leonardos have had this from the start. I've said this many times before, but I'll say it again. The first time I saw this, I thought that's going to be uncomfortable. I have found them to be very, very comfortable. There is a metal ring at the end there. Do wipe it down, because this is a spot where you dip it in ink, right? It's in contact with ink. It could corrode, so make sure you dry that off well. There's a bit of a step down from the barrel, but with that metal ring, it's very smooth. It's not sharp, and I haven't had any issues using this. It's a decently sized pen, I would say. It's quite big, and if that's not enough, it also posts, and then you definitely have a good pen on your hands. Very nice is that you have an ebonite feed, very good flow properties, and there we have the 14K fine flex nib, which has these cutouts to make it more flexy. And whenever I say flexy, people say show me, which is no more than fair. So here we go with I'm using no pressure right now. If you forgive me for using Momento Zero Grande as an abbreviation, this is a 14K fine flex, and the ink is the very simple, humble, but always wonderful Waterman blue, whatever it is now, no longer Serenity, was it Mystery Blue? Anyway, whatever their regular blue is. Okay, I am writing without pressure. I would say I get a pretty decent, nice little fine, true to its name line. Flow is pretty good, it's not gushing, it's pretty good. Let's see what we can do if we write faster. None of this is what you're really interested in because you just want to see me have flex, I understand. I'm really trying to make an effort not to put any pressure on the pen at this point. Here we have just a quick wetness test. It is nice and wet. And now here we get to the flex part. A nice round nib. And here we go. Let's see how far we can push this. And my hands are shaking because I could spring it. Can I do it? Will it be okay? I think it will be all right. There we go. That was pretty fast though. That is how far I would push this, because after that I get uncomfortable and I think I may spring it. So is it fun? It certainly adds a bit of panache to your writing, and I do like that. There is of course my classic hello, which I just like because of the loops. Certainly you add some nice flair to your writing, and as you can see, I'm going pretty fast, and I haven't seen any railroading yet. And it's not that this feed is flooded with ink. I haven't primed it or anything. I think that is quite impressive. I'll try to go as fast as I can. Again, I might be able to push this a little harder, but I don't want to overdo it. And as you can see, I have no issues whatsoever with this pen continuing to write. So as flex nibs go, I'm quite impressed, especially because I have seen these nibs with the cutouts before, from Jowo, for example, but with a plastic feed. And this is an ebonite feed, and I do believe it makes a difference, which is very nice. There's this thing too, which damn you, Aiden, you make this look so simple. I can't do it. Anyway, that's something that people who know what they're doing know how to do with a flex nib, and I'm not one of them people. Okay. Reverse writing, finally. I may have drained the feed a little bit there, but it picks up. It's possible. It works. The end. Let's see what I like and what I don't like about this pen. What do I like? What do I not like about the Leonardo Officina Italiana Meccanica things? Leonardo, Momento Zero Grande Pistone. There's a lot I like. It's no secret I like the Leonardo brand, and every time I say that, people say, well, I had one that didn't write. Okay, I had a number and they all wrote, so I'm sorry for your experience. The Grande model in particular appeals to me because it's a bit bigger and I find it very comfortable. This to me is a truly comfortable pen size. Large without being obscenely large, not too small, girthy without being obscenely girthy. It works to me very well. One day I definitely need to get my hands on one with a number 8 nib on it. Piston-filled pen, larger pen, attractive material. Fun nib, in this case in particular, fun nib. It has a lot going for it. I also find the price reasonable. The gold nib upgrades, that's a different story, but you can have a very pleasant steel nib for a reasonable price, under 250 euros. And don't forget, through Appelboom, you can get a 10% discount through my website, right? So you really can get a nice writer that looks attractive, that has a nice size, that has a big ink capacity. 1.5 milliliters is definitely not nothing. It's a good ink capacity. I love all of that. Things I don't like about it. There really is one thing that comes to mind, because I love the ebonite feed, like it's all well put together. The one thing I don't like so much is that there is no ink window. You can't see how much ink you have in this pen because you can't open up the section to quickly look at the converter, and there is no ink window, so you simply don't know how much ink you have left. Having said that, I accept that in light of everything else that the pen has going for it, and that is in my mind very positive. So there you have it, Leonardo Momento Zero Grande Pistone with a flex nib. I think the flex nib works pretty well. We have the same discussion every time I get sent something with a flex nib. It is not vintage flex, it should not be treated as vintage flex. It's simply not the same, but this is what we have. And that's it. I hope this was useful. A kind thank you to Joost for lending me the pen. You'll probably get it back. And that's it. I hope this was useful. Glad to see you later. Bye bye.